GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action. Live from the GMNA News Center, this is the Lunch Break News Hour.
Good afternoon, Montreal. A blaze has engulfed the Lachine Industrial Building, pulling 70 firefighters onto the scene, while the police chief vows decisive steps on the racism complaints at the North Station. Expect heavy traffic delays from the SDM strike, and don't miss Wing Noodle's new exhibition. Over to you, Jeff.
The Société de Transport de Montréal announced the new 815 bus route will begin service this summer, connecting West Island neighborhoods directly to Trudeau Airport.
The route operates every 30 minutes on weekdays, every hour on weekends, and adds 3 new stops near the West Island Community Center, opening early next month.
Dedicated bus lanes are being built along St. Charles Boulevard, with completion expected early next month, promising reduced travel times between West Island and the airport.
All right, let's get into it and see what's happening across the city today, from community events to local updates that affect all of us. Let's dive into the headlines shaping our day, from the latest developments downtown to the stories making waves across the province.
Firefighters battled a massive blaze Sunday night in Lachine, where a mixed-use industrial and commercial building on Avenue du Pacifique erupted in flames. The fire was reported shortly after midnight and quickly grew, prompting a response of roughly 70 firefighters from the city's fire services. Crews worked through the early morning hours, containing the inferno after about 4 hours of intense effort. No injuries have been confirmed, and officials say the structure sustained extensive damage. The cause of the fire remains under investigation, with fire officials reviewing footage and interviewing witnesses. The incident forced nearby streets to be closed temporarily, and residents in the immediate area were advised to avoid the zone while smoke cleared. Authorities are now assessing the building's structural integrity before any demolition can begin. The incident underscores the challenges of fire safety in older industrial zones.
The police chief announced today that the department will implement new measures to address racism complaints filed by staff at the Montreal Nord police station. In response to recent reports of discriminatory conduct within the precinct, the chief pledged a thorough review of internal policies, mandatory bias training for all officers, and an independent oversight panel to monitor compliance. Station personnel who raised concerns will be protected from retaliation, and a reporting system will be established within several weeks. The announcement follows heightened scrutiny from city officials who have called for swift action to restore trust in law enforcement. The chief emphasized that the department is committed to upholding the rights of both employees and the public, and will report progress to the community regularly. External consultants with expertise in equity will be engaged to assess the station's culture, and the department will issue updates on the implementation of these steps.
Border Airlines launched its first commercial flights from the newly upgraded Montreal Metropolitan Airport today. The South Shore facility, which has undergone a comprehensive renovation, is now equipped to handle regular passenger service. The inaugural routes include daily connections to Toronto and Ottawa, marking the airport's transition from a primarily cargo and private jet hub to a full-scale commercial gateway. Airport officials said the upgrades provide a larger terminal hall, modern security checkpoints, and expanded baggage handling, meeting current airline standards. The new service offers South Shore residents a direct link to major Canadian cities without needing to travel to the downtown airport, and officials expect it to attract both business and leisure travelers. Porter's entry comes as the province continues to invest in transportation infrastructure across the island and surrounding areas.
Requests for housing repossession before the Tribunal Administratif du Logement have surged, climbing to 3 times their level 12 years ago, according to a new report released today by the Regroupement des Comités Logement et Associations de Locataires du Québec. The data show a sharp rise in eviction filings across the province, leaving many renters struggling to mount a defense. Tenant advocates say the surge reflects a housing market that no longer guarantees basic security, and they are urging the provincial government to adopt stronger rent control measures. Intervenants at the tribunal warned that the current system places an undue burden on tenants, who often lack the resources to contest proceedings. The report adds pressure to an ongoing debate about how to protect the right to housing while balancing landlord interests.
Today, the Quebec government, represented by Minister Jean Boulet, released a new guide outlining how companies should integrate artificial intelligence responsibly. The document emphasizes keeping humans at the core of decision-making, mandating that automated systems support rather than replace human judgment. It also sets out best practices for transparency, data privacy, and accountability, and encourages firms to conduct regular audits of algorithmic outcomes. The initiative forms part of a broader provincial effort to shape the deployment of AI technologies across the private sector, aiming to balance innovation with ethical safeguards. The guide will be circulated to industry associations and includes case studies from manufacturing and finance. Quebec officials said they will track adoption through quarterly reporting mechanisms and will adjust the framework as technology evolves. Businesses operating in Quebec are expected to adopt the recommendations as they develop or expand AI-driven processes, with the government pledging oversight to ensure compliance.
We'll soon unpack the mayor's denouncement of racism and the 16 officers under investigation, plus more top headlines. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm glad you stayed with us. Up next, Jeff Laflamme brings you the top local stories you need to hear.
Mayor Mohamed Boudiaf of Montreal Nord issued a statement on June 14, unequivocally condemning racism after the police service announced a formal probe of 16 officers from Post 39. The investigation concerns alleged hateful gestures and racist conduct reported during recent interactions in the borough, according to the service. The Montreal Police Service confirmed that the officers are now under internal review and that standard disciplinary procedures will be applied pending the outcome of the inquiry. This development arrives as the community continues to grapple with long-standing concerns about profiling and bias in law enforcement practices, issues that have persisted for years. The mayor emphasized that any behavior that undermines public trust will be addressed through the appropriate channels, reinforcing the city's commitment to accountability. The police service said it will cooperate fully with the inquiry and that the findings will be communicated once the review is complete.
The new 815 bus line rolled out this week, giving West Island residents a direct link from the Des Sources REM station to Montreal Trudeau Airport. Service began in mid-June and will run through the summer into the fall, offering hourly departures during peak travel times. Transit officials explained the route was designed to tighten the connection between the REM network and the airport, adding a convenient public transit option for anyone heading out of town. Riders can now board at the Des Sources stop and arrive at the airport terminals without needing a car or rideshare. The addition comes as part of the Transit Authority's effort to expand summer mobility across the region, easing congestion on roadways, and providing a reliable alternative for weekend getaways or business trips. It also supports local commuters heading to the airport for meetings.
Gunshots near Montreal Park during party, police arrest 1, seek 2. Police said gunfire erupted near a park in Montreal on June 14 while a celebration was in progress. Officers responded to reports of shots and secured the area. One individual was taken into custody at the scene. 2 additional suspects remain at large and a search is underway. The Montreal Police Service confirmed that the incident occurred during a party and that the investigation is ongoing. No further details on injuries or damage have been released. Police continue to gather evidence and are coordinating with local resources to locate the remaining persons of interest. Additional officers were deployed to the perimeter to contain the scene and to assist with the investigation. The service has issued a bulletin to other law enforcement agencies in the province to aid in locating the 2 persons of interest.
Mayor Valérie Plante has condemned recent allegations that some members of the Montreal Police Service performed hateful and racist gestures. She said the conduct is unacceptable and pledged full support for the inquiry launched on June 13. The city announced a formal investigation after multiple reports surfaced describing discriminatory hand signals and symbols used by officers on duty. Plante emphasized that the police force must uphold the values of respect and inclusion that the community expects. The SPVM confirmed it will cooperate with the probe and implement any recommendations that arise. The mayor called for transparency and accountability, noting that trust between residents and law enforcement depends on swift and thorough action. The investigation will examine the incidents and determine whether disciplinary measures are warranted. Residents who say they have seen the alleged gestures report feeling unsettled and are watching the process closely.
Artists occupying the red brick industrial building at 435 Beaubien Avenue West are warning that the historic studio space may disappear under a redevelopment proposal. The structure, long regarded as an iconic cultural site in the Mile X neighborhood, has provided workspaces for creators for many years. On June 13, representatives of the artist collective voiced concerns that the planned construction would replace the existing studios with new commercial or residential units, erasing a venue that has supported local artistic production. The building sits at the corner of Beaubien Avenue West and Durocher Street, a location that has become synonymous with the neighborhood's creative identity. Stakeholders cited the loss of affordable studio space as a particular risk for artists who rely on the site's historic character and continuity. The uncertainty has also raised questions about future public exhibitions that have traditionally been held in the building's open loft areas.
Let's get a quick look at your afternoon forecast with our weather team right after this.
A gentle June afternoon settles over Montreal, perfect for a quick glance at today's weather. On this day, the city once sweltered to a record high of 27.7 degrees back in 2016, a spike that rode the tail of an intense heat wave across the province. Conversely, the coldest temperature recorded for June 15th is 8.4 degrees, set in 2020 during an unusually sharp Arctic dip that caught many by surprise. For comparison, the long-term June average hovers around 22 degrees high and 15 degrees low, reminding us how today's milder readings sit comfortably between those extremes. At noon, Montreal feels comfortably cool with a temperature of 18 degrees, mainly clear skies and a gentle west wind at 20 kilometers per hour. Humidity sits at 80%, keeping the air fresh. A light drizzle drifts through the city right now, nudging the temperature down to 16 degrees. By mid-afternoon, the clouds will clear, allowing sunshine to lift the mercury back up to 19 degrees, perfect for a brief outdoor stroll. As evening approaches, clouds thicken and the sky turns overcast, bringing a cool 17 degrees and a chance of lingering mist. No weather alerts are in effect, so enjoy the day and stay comfortable. If you're heading out for lunch, a light jacket will keep you comfortable, and the mild breeze will make the city feel pleasant. Looking ahead, Tuesday brings a cloud-filled day with a high of 23 degrees and a low of 11, perfect for a relaxed morning under soft overcast skies. Wednesday cools slightly, reaching 20 degrees at its peak and dipping to 13, with light drizzle and a 46% chance of rain to keep the streets glistening. Thursday turns more dramatic as thunderstorms move in, pushing temperatures up to 23 degrees, but also bringing an 85% rain risk and gusty breezes. Friday stays warm at 22 degrees with a 14-degree low, though the rain eases to a moderate 35% chance. Finally, Saturday offers a gentler finish, high 19, low 13, and a light drizzle with a 39% chance, ideal for a quiet weekend stroll.
Traffic snarls from the SDM strike continue, Nick Suzuki wins the Selk, and Wing Noodles lights up our chamber spotlight. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
The biggest holdup right now is at the Échangeur des Laurentides. Backups are spilling onto Autoroute 15 northbound and onto Boulevard St. Laurent, adding 15 minutes or more to any north-south trip. Westbound traffic on the Autoroute Métropolitaine near Boulevard Lacordaire is also snarled. Drivers heading from La Ville into the city should expect a slow crawl and consider alternative routes such as Boulevard St. Michel. Smaller bottleneck remains on Autoroute des Carrés between Rue Jean Talon and Chemin de la Côte Saint-Luc, where lane reductions are causing brief queues but no major standstill. On the transit side, the SDM strike has cut bus and metro service to peak-only frequencies, so riders off-peak will find many routes running only a few times an hour. If you're on a regular commuter schedule, stick to the peak windows or look for a car share. Roads not mentioned are moving freely this morning.
There are no verified listings available for today. And now here's Jason with sports.
Let's dive into the latest awards shaping Montreal's hockey narrative this week. The NHL announced Friday that Montreal Canadiens captain Nick Suzuki captured the Frank J. Selk Trophy, recognizing his defensive excellence, while forward Cole Caulfield earned the Lady Byng Trophy for sportsmanship and skill. Both awards highlight the Habs' two-way play, CBC Sports reports. Logan Stankoven propelled the Carolina Hurricanes past the Montreal Canadiens in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final, netting one of 3 first-period goals as the Hurricanes secured a series win and moved on to the Stanley Cup Final, CBC Sports NHL reported Tuesday. In Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final, the Carolina Hurricanes advanced to the Stanley Cup Final by defeating the Montreal Canadiens, with Logan Stankoven scoring one of 3 first-period goals, CBC Sports NHL reports. The win ends Montreal's playoff run.
Wing Noodles in the bustling heart of Chinatown marks another milestone, unveiling an exhibition that walks visitors through the Lee family's 50-year journey and the restaurant's role in shaping Montreal's culinary scene. This beloved family-run spot, known for its hand-pulled noodles and signature wings, has become a gathering place for generations, from early morning commuters to late-night diners. The showcase not only displays vintage menus and photographs, but also invites the community to share their own memories, turning the restaurant into a living museum of neighborhood stories. For Montreal, wing noodles is more than a meal. It's a thread that ties our cultural tapestry together, reminding us that food can preserve history and spark connection. Up next, we celebrate Chinatown's beloved wing noodles, now reborn in a vibrant exhibition honoring its storied history. Stay tuned.
Coming up tonight at 6, the local sunset. Your neighborhood, your city, your news. From city hall decisions to the stories happening right on your street, we cover what matters most to Montrealers. Join us tonight at 6 p.m. on gmna for the local sunset, Montreal's evening newscast.
On a bright Saturday morning at the bustling corner of St. Laurent and St. Denis, the doors of the Centre Communautaire du Plateau swung open for a special gathering. Inside, volunteers from Centraide, armed with colorful pamphlets and steaming cups of café au lait, welcomed dozens of neighbors who had answered a recent Ledger poll indicating that 48% of Quebecers feel moderate to extreme financial anxiety. Among them was Marie, a single mother of two who described the weight of unpaid bills as a constant hum in the back of her mind. As a local financial coach walked her through a simple budgeting worksheet, the room filled with the soft rustle of paper and the quiet sigh of relief. By the time the session ended, Marie held a clear plan, a list of community resources, and a renewed sense that she was not alone. The day closed with volunteers sharing fresh baguettes and laughter echoed down the hallway, a reminder that even in challenging times, Montreal's neighborhoods rally together. It's moments like these that keep our city moving forward.
In the bustling courtyard of Place des Arts, the Francos de Montreal Festival has turned its stage into a living tribute to Jean Leloup's iconic album, Le Dôme. The crowd, a mix of longtime fans and curious newcomers, gathers under strings of amber lights while the band cues up the opening chords on a well-worn vinyl, the needle dropping with a soft crackle that instantly transports listeners back to 1996. A teenage girl in a red bomber jacket sways to the rhythm, her headphones abandoned on the bench beside her, while an elderly couple nearby hums the chorus in quiet unison, their smiles mirroring the song's playful defiance. Festival organizer Marie-Claude remarks that revisiting the album feels like opening a time capsule that still fits perfectly in today's soundtrack. When the final refrain rings out, the audience erupts in a chorus that bridges 3 decades, proving that a melody born 30 years ago can still spark the same spark of joy. It's moments like these that keep the city's heart beating.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the lunch break. Tonight's fire at the Lachine Industrial Building reminded us of the bravery of our firefighters, and we're grateful for their dedication. We'll be back tomorrow with more stories that matter to you. Until then, stay safe and keep the conversation going.